Shalom everyone, it's Kol Torah, Tuesday at noon. We are back after a little break, and I hope everyone is well. Today, Parashat Chukat. We're going to discuss Parashat Chukat, and Chok meaning law. As we know, and this is a pretty much of a very common knowledge, that the Torah is in a way divided to three types of mitzvot. One mitzvah, or one type of mitzvot, is what we call the mitzvot sichliyot, meaning mitzvot, cognitive mitzvot, mitzvot that basically I could come up by myself regarding this mitzvah. For example, respecting your parents. It's something that we all understand that we must do. They gave us life, they sustained us, they helped us, so we obviously need to respect them and honor them when we are growing up. So the second type of mitzvot is mitzvot shim'iyot, commandments that without God telling us about them, we will not know about them. For example, to put on tefillin. So without God telling us, we will never know and never think about it. And then there is another type of mitzvah that it's called chok, a law. And there is no reason for this mitzvah. For example, the red heifer in our parsha, the para aduma, keeping kosher, it's also a mitzvah without really a reason. Shatnez, linen and wool together that we can't wear. It's also something that we really don't understand, we don't know. And really, this parasha that brings up the mitzvah of para aduma, the red heifer, that not only does not have any logic behind it, it's also very much confusing. Because the impure person become pure and the pure person become impure, so there is what I will call a mixing of entities and mixing of ideas and concepts together. It really brings up the discussion of our wisdom and the divine wisdom. And I would like to share with you a midrash that focuses on King Solomon. As we know, King Solomon, Amelech Shlomo, was the wisest person on earth. The Tanakh describes Shlomo, Solomon, as HaChacham Mikol Adam, the wisest person from any other person who exists on the universe. And what was his wisdom? Why do we approach King Solomon with such reverence to his wisdom? What was his specialty? So the Midrash says, Rabbanan Amrei, the rabbis taught us that God gave Shlomo, Natan lo chokhmah, he gave him wisdom, keneged kol Israel, like it's compared to the entire collective wisdom of the entire Jewish people. Shene'emar, as it stated, Vayi mispar bnei Israel kechol hayam, that the numbers, the amount of people, of the Jewish people was kechol hayam, was like the sand of the sea. Ma chol gader layam, like the sand is a fence on the seashore to the sea from coming and basically infiltrating the yabasha, the ground. Kach hayta chokhmato gdura lishlomo. That's the same way the wisdom of Shlomo was. What does that mean? So like the sand of the sea is a border, is a fence to the sea from crossing over to the seashore. The same thing applies with the wisdom of Shlomo, that it was gadur, it was fenced. Now what does that mean? And how does that relate to our parsha? So I would like to suggest to you the following idea. When we talk about wisdom, when we talk about talent and cognitive abilities, one of the most marvelous things in someone who is very wise is his or her ability to put things in what I will call categories, frameworks. There are some very wise people that when you listen to them, or when they try to convey their wisdom, there's only one word that comes to mind, and this is a balagan, a chaos, a mess. You can't understand what they are trying to tell you. There is a lot of knowledge, there is a lot of professionalism, but they are lacking the ability to put things in categories, in frameworks, in logical sentences. And you feel like you are in the middle of an Israeli salad. You hear something about the tomatoes and something about the cucumbers, and everything is like a big mix of things. And in a way, it's very unfortunate, because then you lose the content, the meaning. On the other hand, you have those people who have a lot of wisdom, but they have the ability to take their wisdom and to simplify it so everyone can understand, but at the same time, to put it in what I will call a gader, like exactly what the Midrash described it, to put fence, to put borders around their knowledge, so it's presented to us in a manner that we can understand and can follow. One of the major praises to King Solomon's wisdom was that chokhmato hayta gdura lo, that his wisdom was fenced, was bordered, was in a way shaped, so it was accessible to others. At the same time, I would like to suggest that King Solomon's wisdom was also defined by his ability to understand that there is a fence, there is a limit to what he can understand. Yes, it's true. We should aspire and try to do our best to understand everything, every detail, every mitzvah, every phenomena, everything, every concept, every idea. But at the same time, we need to also understand that we are not able to understand everything. And sometimes to have the courage and stand up and to say, I don't know, is the wisest thing to say. One of the 7 characteristics of a smart person, according to Pirkei Avot, is to say, I don't know. It's not a shame. It's not an embarrassment sometimes to say, I don't know, rather than to give an answer that have nothing to do with the question. This parsha teaches us that yes, we should and we must try to maximize our cognitive abilities. And at the same time, to know humbly, to know that we don't know everything, and to admit, sometimes I don't know. The Midrash focus on this point, that King Solomon, as wise as he was, and as much effort he puts in order to understand everything, he knew, sometimes I don't know. And I think it's a tremendous message of, on one hand, humility, and at the same time, inspiration to try to understand even more. Thank you.